super pleased to have with us on the line Jessica Jackson, the national director and co-founder of #Cut50, along with Van Jones, a former death row attorney, the mayor of Mill City, California. The website is cut50.org, cut50.org, and you can tweet her at @cut_50 or at Jessie Michelle. Jessica Jackson, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on.
Great for having I'm very pleased to have you with us. Sorry about that. I'm looking at your website here, and our mission and work. Cut50 is a national bipartisan initiative to safely and smartly reduce our incarcerated population by 50% over the next 10 years. Is that, I'm assuming that's an accurate characterization of what you're doing?
Absolutely. That is what we're doing. And we are working both on the federal and the state level. Tomorrow we kick off our state work with the Day of Empathy.
So tell us about that.
So Day of Empathy is 50 different events happening in 50 different states. We're working with local organizations in each state to promote the idea of empathy and to meet with state legislators and tell them stories of those who have been directly impacted by the criminal justice system, whether it's somebody who's been incarcerated, somebody who's lost a loved one to crime, somebody who's a crime survivor themselves, and even law enforcement. We're going to be opening up the heart space in these legislators so that they can open up their headspace and find solutions.
Many people would argue, I'm probably among them, that much of the distortion of our criminal justice marketplace, for lack of a better word, has come about as a consequence of for-profit prisons, that they are lobbying for stronger and harsher sentencing, for 3 strikes and you're outlaws, for less judicial oversight, for stronger drug laws, anything that's going to drive up the population in their prisons. And President Obama had made the official federal policy to redirect people away from for-profit prisons and to stop contracting with for-profit prisons. Donald Trump has changed that, a 180 reversal. The Republican mantra seems to be, if government is doing anything at all that could be done by a for-profit corporation and make, some billionaire or an investor rich, then that should be what we do, even if the consequence of that is a lot more people end up in prison. How can you be bipartisan when you've got an entire political party that's basically dedicated to the opposite of your philosophic goal?
Well, listen, 2 things. One, let's broaden this. Let's not just talk about private prisons. What folks don't realize, this is also public prisons. There are a lot of companies out there that are making money off of your loved ones, your neighbors, your friends being incarcerated in state prisons. You look at a company like Aramark that's providing the food, or Global Tellink that's gouging prisoners and their families from being able to have telephone communications. You look at a company like JPay that puts, allows people to put money on other people's books. Or there's even a private industry of products that people can purchase for loved ones who are incarcerated, radios, TVs, the like, that are marking up those prices substantially so that they're making money off of people being incarcerated. So when we talk about the incarceration industry, it's not just private prisons. They're a huge problem, but it's also our public prisons. And we have to factor in that a lot of that $80 billion a year that goes to incarcerating people is going to those companies. When it comes to working with Republicans, listen, we've got a president and an administration right now that is actually out of step with their own party. You look at folks like Paul Ryan, John Boehner before he left, Newt Gingrich, Grover Norquist. They've all been advocating, even the Koch brothers, they've all been advocating for smart on crime, not these one-size-fits-all tough on crime policies. So that's how we're staying bipartisan. There are a lot of folks within his party who aren't happy about some of the comments he's making, especially when it comes to civil asset forfeiture, or going after folks for simply smoking marijuana. They're not happy with that because they know those are not solutions to ending mass incarceration and more importantly, to making our streets safer.
But they do generate more profit for the industries that have sprung up around this stuff. What your name is Cut50. Cut50.org is the website. CUT50. What does that mean?
Cut50 is indicating to you that we're looking for transformative solutions. At the time that Van and I launched Cut 50, we were a little disappointed to see that a lot of the celebrations taking place in the field were people celebrating, cutting the growth of prisons by 2%. We wanted to do something big. We wanted to find solutions that get people out of prison. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wanted Cut 99. It just wasn't as catchy. But Cut 50 tells you, look, we're looking for some transformative solutions in the next 10 years. We believe that half these people or more should be at home in their communities, learning how to be productive citizens, and that our justice system should be healing the problems by addressing the underlying reasons people are committing crime, not just shoving them in a box and throwing away the keys.
So it's as you say on your website, cutting the prison population by 50% over the next decade.
Yes.
What for people who are concerned about this, for people for whom this is an issue, and I think that it touches all of us in one way or another. What can they do?
Well, it starts tomorrow. Come out, join us with Day of Empathy. Like I said, we're bringing together some really unlikely groups in each of the states. So go to our website for that. That's dayofempathy.org. You'll see a big map on there with little red arrows in all of the states where you can click and figure out how you can plug in to your Day of Empathy. We've got folks in Mississippi, where I am right now. We're going to have about 400 social workers up at the Capitol talking to state legislators about the impact of the criminal justice system on juveniles who are put in adult facilities. We have Raise the Age activities going on in New York, Connecticut, and Texas. We've got really cool stuff going on in New Jersey featuring an art show made by juvenile lifers. We've got people in Atlanta, every state, California. They're bringing together 17 murder victim families with law enforcement and with people who have been incarcerated themselves. There's going to be some very powerful conversations going on with the legislators about the fact that crime hurts and justice should heal, and our current system is not accomplishing that.
Yeah, very, very well said. Jessica Jackson, the national director and co-founder, along with Van Jones of Cut 50, former death row attorney, mayor of Mill City, California. What a resume. Thanks so much, Jessica, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Good talking with you. And you can tweet her at Jessy, JESSYMICHELE, or at cut_50.